Let's talk a little bit about the inspiration to even do the project from the beginning.
Well, the I had this whisper in my heart that came in on a prayer that became a cup of tea and a conversation with my husband that became another prayer that became a handshake and an agreement that together we would bring the Bible to television from Genesis through Revelation. And at first many people thought we'd lost our minds, that no one would want to see the Bible. Of course we know that 100 million people tuned in. But while we were in Morocco filming, we had an editor with us. And we would gather weekly on Friday nights and we would watch these rough assemblies so that everybody from the cleaning team to the stars, that everybody who was there was invited to come and see the footage. So we could all see what we're working on. I've found that it raises morale and people feel like they're part of a team, which is always good. And as the Jesus narrative started to unfold and we saw Jesus on the big screen, I said to Mark, my husband, Mark Burnett, I said, I wish we'd been making a film. This is so good. I mean, this is so beautiful. So we decided there and then that we would shoot additional footage, that we would start to re-edit the Jesus narrative, and that we would create a standalone cinematic experience. And Son of God was born. It took us about a year to have it edited. We didn't know if it would just be special event screenings. We just went ahead and made the movie. 20th Century Fox called and said, hey, we'll distribute this movie in 3,000 theaters. Unbelievable, really. Anyway, it's coming out February 28th. It's coming out in English and in Spanish. It's going to, and we've actually got a Korean subtitle version, but we did this most beautiful Spanish dub. I think that the Hispanic community is often underserved, and we wanted to make it available. We did a PG-13. We're hoping that people will come, they'll bring their families, they'll experience Son of God together.
Do you remember we had that conversation in New York and you asked me, you said, what do you think about doing Spanish subtitles? And I said, let me tell you why that's a great idea, is because the multi-generations, my great-grandmother didn't speak English, she spoke Spanish. And this is a film that I think you can take grandma, the entire family, and the theme.
That's right.
We did talk about that.
So, we went ahead and did that. We have just gone ahead and done stuff. I think sometimes if you waited for everything to be lined up exactly right, you would do nothing, right? You'd never get off the couch. At some point, you just have to have a boldness and a courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is having fear and still moving forward. So I think we've been bold with what we've done here. But what I know is that as we've started airing it, since I've seen you, we've been on the road. I've been in so many cities. And, because I just feel so passionate about this movie. And I know that when people see it, it will touch their lives. And, for people who already know Jesus, they're going to fall in love with him all over again. But there's people who don't know Jesus, who don't know the story. And, they should know the story because he was an incredible guy. And we've tried to tell the story in a way that's it's got young actors, it's exciting, it has great special effects, it's gritty and realistic, and the Hans Zimmer score, it's big and it's epic, and yet it's this deeply intimate story. So I think that it will reach, across generations. And I think that it will endure for years to come.
You've answered my question. My question was going to be about the music, because Hans Zimmer, he just doesn't do movies just because he wants, just because, I've got he doesn't have much time. He's a high in demand. And the fact that he's doing your score, I think, is just another character to the film.
Absolutely. I think when you're choosing your music for a film, it is like casting, because it's going to add an emotional intensity. In this case, we knew that we wanted a female voice in there to, like they did in Gladiator. And when we first met Hans, we said to him, could you find us somebody like Lisa Gerrard, because her voice was so magnificent on Gladiator? And he said, why would I find somebody like Lisa Gerrard when we could just ask Lisa Gerrard? And I was like, really? And he said, yeah. And he picked up the phone there and then, and he called Lisa Gerrard. And Lisa said, absolutely, I would love to work again with you. I completely trust you, Hans. And I love Jesus. So I would completely love to lend my voice to this. And I think the music really benefits from this big screen experience, because you really get to hear it in the total surround sound, and it is so beautiful. The soundtrack is just so beautiful, you know. Anyway, and the final credits, we have CeeLo Green.
Mary, did you know?
Mary,
yeah.
did you know?
I don't sing.
Which really were the questions I was asking myself when I stepped into the role of Mary. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Did you know he would save our sons and daughters? And we love that song. Mark Lowry, of course, wrote that song, and he's a Houston native, I believe, or at least he lives here. And of course, my husband has a few connections at The Voice. And so we got CeeLo Green to record the song. He had it on his last Christmas album. And we play the track through the end credits of the movie. And I think that we're finding that people are staying. They're stunned, first of all, by the beauty of the story. You know, as awful as the crucifixion is, and it is, it's so painful to watch. But then we move through into the beauty and the magnificence of the resurrection, the ascension, and then the Great Commission. And I think people are left sitting there so moved by the film, and then they get a chance to decompress a little bit as the end credits play with CeeLo Green.
Final question before they wrap me up is, you were amazing in the role of Mary. Fantastic job. Really, I got to give you props for that.
Thank you.
But I want to ask about where that passion came from, to put you in that character, the inspiration. I mean,
you know, I am a mother myself, so all I could do really was to imagine and bring a mother's heart to it. You know, I have loved Jesus forever. I have never fully considered what it must have felt like to be his mother, because while she was the mother of the Son of God, she was also the mother of a son. And, you know, those scenes at the foot of the cross were the most poignant and emotional scenes I've ever had to film. But yeah, it was a privilege for me to step into the role.
Well, we made a promise to see each other again about this film, and here we are, and we did it. I saw you in November, and I'm so proud of this film. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your support and letting everybody know. We have a fantastic website, sharesonofgod.com, that has our trailers and music videos. CeeLo Green's on there. Please send it around. Use social media. Help us out just to spread the word that the movie's coming.
I've already started. You know that. You've seen it. Thank you, Roma.